All right, everybody, welcome back. It's the Wake Up Crew here to talk some NBA prop bets over on PrizePicks for this Tuesday, May the 10th, NBA slate. It is the conference semifinals, and we have the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Miami Heat, and we also have the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. Quick recap of the bets that we talked about yesterday. Giannis points, cash. Al Horford fantasy score, cash. Jay, great call on the steals for Drew Holiday, 1.5 over. Cashed that in the first half, I believe. We came back a little bit later, talked about Jaren Jackson Jr.'s fantasy score. Cashed that one. We had 4 cashes, 2 misses. We did talk about Al Horford's 8.5 rebound total that we liked. Found out the Time Lord was out. We thought it would be a smash. Did not hit it. Fell 1 short for the rebounds. And then I talked about Jordan Poole over 20.5 points, and he did not hit that. So 4 for 2 yesterday overall. Very profitable. Good day. We came back. We hit the model. We loaded it up. We got some more data-driven picks that we're going to get into right now.
For all the high-flying action, take a step back and relax. It's time to count that money, the NBA props. No look any further. You know what time it is. Presented by PrizePicks, NBA props. Let's
count that money, man. All right, Jay, so I'm going to start this one out talking about the man. You see the highlights in the back of the Joker, the two-time back-to-back MVP of the NBA, Nikola Jokic. I'm going to Joel Embiid. I thought he should have got the MVP. I know Jokic was an absolute superstar, but Joel Embiid was a beast as well, and he may be playing a little pissed off in this matchup versus Miami, but the point total at 24.5, Jay, I'm not afraid of it, and I know he's only played 2 games in the series, was injured early. Listen, he shot the ball 12 times in his first return in May 6th, shot the ball 13 times last game. They got to get it done. And I think Joel Embiid is going to come back strong in this one. He's averaging 23.2 over his last 5, but I really don't care about this, what he did down here in that Toronto series. Had 24 last game on 13 shots. I'm in on Joel Embiid over 24.5 points. Listen, we ran it through our model, and it spit out a green boy. It said over for Joel Embiid, 24.5. This is something that he can definitely hit. I'm in on this point total for Embiid.
Yeah, man, I like it. Like you said, he's going to be he's an emotional guy, right? We know that about Joel Embiid, so I'm sure he wants to show the world just one more time on the road. And I have talked about how stars do rule on the road, and this is what the NBA is all about. Joel Embiid's going to have to show up big if they want to win this one, more than likely. And I think the added motivation of not winning that MVP officially will give him that added bonus to really show the people in Miami what he's really about. And I think that 24.5 number is a really strong one. Now, I'm going to go into the other series, and I want to be talking about Jae Crowder, a player who's been playing much better this time around than in the previous series. Against New Orleans, he really struggled, but overall, Jae Crowder's been playing a lot better. As you see, he's hit his point total over 10.5 in 4 of his last 5 games, but that's actually every game this series. And on top of that, against Dallas this season, he's hit it in 6 of 7 games. He's shooting 50% from 3 in this series. So again, Jae Crowder does live and die by the 3 a little bit, but he can get to the cup, he can get offensive boards, and he can shoot free throws at a fairly high clip. Doesn't take a ton, but when you see a guy at only 10.5 and he's hitting his 3-pointers, and for whatever reason, Dallas keeps leaving him open. So I'm going to be banking on Jae Crowder to continue this streak throughout the series. Like I mentioned, hit it every game this series, and I think that's going to continue again. They're heading back to Phoenix. We know the role players play better at home than they do on the road, and I think that's conducive to Jae Crowder going over this 10.5 total, right?
Yeah, man, when we get on here to talk about these picks, we're both like, Jae Crowder, 10.5, over. We want it. We like it. We both like that point total for Jae Crowder. Going back home, all he needs is a couple of threes, get a couple of cheap buckets, and we're in the building. We're in the money with Jae Crowder. I like this as well. Jay, 2 plays that I want to talk about one play that I want to talk about that's not on the board right now. Kyle Lowry, his assist total. If that thing opens up again at 5.5 or 6, I'm taking the over on Kyle Lowry's assist. He's playing about 30 minutes, man. A little hampered with that hamstring injury, but he's getting those assists. I think he hit that total in the first half last game versus Philly. So I'm waiting on Kyle Lowry's assist total to come out. And then I'm still thinking about it, but Jalen Brunson over 4 rebounds. He's pushed this number 3 times in this series already and gone over in 1. We have him projected. The model says 4.4 rebounds in this matchup. It spit out a green boy. So I'm potentially, maybe, depending on what Kyle Lowry's point assist total line is, I may take a little Jalen Brunson over rebounds, but I really want to see that Kyle Lowry assist number. And then one other one that I want to talk about real quick, Jay, Jimmy Buckets. Jimmy Butler's point total of 25.5. How we feeling about this one, man? He's hit it in back-to-back games. You know, at the beginning of the series, it started off a little slow for Jimmy Butler, but 25.5, how you feeling about Jimmy Buckets?
I like it, but I'm hesitant, right? So obviously, I told the people to bet Jimmy's par 2 games in a row, but now finally the books and PrizePicks has finally caught up. They jacked up his number, but on top of that, Jimmy's not scoring the same as at home as he is on the road. Like I talked about multiple times, he does more on the road than he does at home, and I think that may continue overall. Jimmy's a great player, but he knows that the role players can get more involved in these home games, and I think that's one of the reasons why I'm not going to be taking the over for Jimmy as far as his points total. If you want to go after the par, I think there's a world where he can facilitate, but to your point, with Kyle Lowry being back, that's going to be harder, and Jimmy will probably take on more of a primary scoring role, and because of that, the par will be hurt by that. So I think I'm probably going to stay away from Jimmy a little bit, but if you want to take the over, I think the points is the way to go, especially if Lowry is in, and I think that's the way that he will get over that total. 25.5 is a lot. It is juiced to the under on the books at minus 122 right now, so people are projecting an under for Jimmy, but if you believe and you think he can go over, it's not the worst bet I've ever seen, especially with the form he's playing at right now, and at home in a must-win game, I think that Jimmy may be the guy to take them to the promised land in this series.
Just throwing it out there. Any interest in going back to the Dorian Finney-Smith well? When you look at him, he's hit this total in three of his last 4 games in this series, and 4 of his last 5 games overall. The projection model, Jay, I'm letting you know what the model says. It says Dorian Finney-Smith over for his point total, man. What do you think? I'm just throwing it out there. 12.5 for Finney-Smith. Are you interested in going back to this well? Again with Finney-Smith?
I'm intrigued, right? So the big thing with Dorian Finney-Smith, he's going to take a lot of open threes, and he's going to play a ton of minutes, right? That's the biggest thing is because he's one of the primary defenders on that defense, he plays a lot of minutes. But we're talking about a guy who hit 8 threes last game. Is he going to stay in those same flames this time around? I don't know. Again, playing on the road in a hostile environment, you don't have that home crowd behind you. It's not a terrible number. It's probably not a bet I would make, but if you believe he can stay hot, then there's definitely a chance he could. But I've talked about how I'm kind of more in on taking the points total for Luka because Luka's gone over, 35 in both road games in this series so far. And I think he's going to have to dominate if they're going to win. So you think to the point of, okay, he didn't play as well at home because the role players got more involved. Going back on the road, you see Luka, he's gone over in both these road games, and he's at 31.5, 32.5 on the books, juice to the over. I think that's the route I would take if I'm betting a Dallas player to go over on their point total. It would be Luka over Dorian Finney-Smith.
Yeah, you kind of talked me into that one. Now, Finney-Smith is playing about 41 minutes a game, but you're right. You know, stars on the road have to be stars, and Luka on the road in this series, 35 and then 41. Just like last night, we didn't let that Giannis line scare us at all. I kind of like Luka. I'm going to run some things. I'm going to look at some stuff, but I kind of like this number for Luka. I am feeling the Jalen Brunson over 4 rebounds, Jae Crowder over 10.5 points, and Joel Embiid over 24.5 points. Jay, I'm going to just tell you right now, Jay, I feel a lot better about our WNBA picks today than I do some of these NBA picks. So be mindful of your risk allocation, how much you're throwing at these bets. We mix and match all of these. So the 2 that we feel confident in, like really confident, the model and our just feel, are Joel Embiid's points and Jae Crowder's points. I'm kind of in with you with Luka Doncic, his point total over 31.5. And I'd rather wait and see what Kyle Lowry assist line comes out to before I lock anything in with Brunson's rebounds. But the model did spit out a green boy and said take the over on Jalen Brunson's rebounds. So as always, if you tail these picks, give them hell. And if we fail, do not bail. We'll be back tomorrow with more data-driven picks, data-driven analysis, whether that be the NBA, the WNBA, MLB. We're close, Jay. People are asking about the MLB projection model. When are we going to start doing that? We are very, very close. So we appreciate you tapping in. Let us know in the comments who you're playing, what you're thinking about these picks, and we'll come back closer to tip-off if we find anything else and might add that to the comments. We appreciate you tapping in. We are out. Good luck.